So how can we use the paintbrush to draw a house, draw some grass, and a tree in Photoshop? Well, I've got my layers palette open, which is great, and if you don't have it, you're going to want to press F7 to pull it up. Pressing F7 to open and close it. Beautiful. Next, what I'm going to do is create a new layer. When I do that, it doesn't look any different on the Photoshop composition, but it will in a moment. So I'm going to switch to the paintbrush, and I'm going to change this from green to a light blue. We're going to give it for the sky, and I want to fill in the sky, but you know what? This will take me forever at this rate. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to change the diameter to 463, and now look at that. We've got ourselves a nice blue sky. Next, I'm going to create another new layer. I'm going to switch the color from blue to a nice deep red, dark red. I'm going to right click, change the diameter to, we'll make it 14. Draw the sides of a house. I'm not looking for anything spectacular here. I'm going to switch it to black. We'll add a door. And you know what? I don't really like how narrow that door is. So what I can do is switch to the eraser tool. This is the eraser tool. And I can simply go in, make the diameter a little bit bigger, go in. Now I'm going to switch back to the paintbrush, open that door up some, not bad. I'm going to add a little chimney, looks good. Next, I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to change the color from black to a nice green. I'm going to right click. And we know that we can change the diameter and we can change the hardness, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute, but we can also change our brushes, and we have quite a few to choose from. I want to add grass, so I'm going to switch to this brush right here. And so here we're adding grass, but what it does, it works with both the foreground, which is this green color, and the background color. I'm going to switch it from a light green, actually from the white to a light green, and I got a dark green now. And now when I do that, this looks pretty cool. Alright, so we got some grass. And if hypothetically I wanted the house on top of the grass, in front of the glass, I would click right here and drag, and now the house is on top, but I'm not going to mess with that quite yet. Next, I'm going to create another new layer. I'm going to change the paintbrush back to the original one. That looks pretty good. At 19, I'm gonna bust out a nice brown for the trunk of our tree. I'm gonna right click. Okay. You might be thinking, Mr. Droz, this looks pretty weird. This doesn't look like a tree at all. And you know what? You might be right. But what I'm going to do now that I've created my trunk and added some branches is make sure that we add some leaves. So I want it nice orange. I'm going to right click. We're using the paintbrush, remember. I'm going to change the paintbrush to, there's a leaf. There we go. We'll try this one and we'll see how it looks. I'm going to right click. I'm going to make the diameter a little bit bigger. That looks pretty cool, and that's a little too much. So I'm going to now delete this. To delete, you press Control Alt Z to go back. So I'm pressing and holding Control and Alt, and then I press Z, and it's gone. So I'm going to try that again. And rather than holding it before, I'm just sort of clicking. Alright, that looks pretty cool. This house, I want to shift it down, so I'm going to switch to the Move tool, and I know that I can move this around. And if I don't like these leaves, of course, I can modify it using this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this house down and press Control T, because it's its own layer. Shrink it down. And we're almost done. I'm going to use the paintbrush, right click, switch to the simple ones at the top. I'm going to switch the hardness from 100 all the way to 0, and I'm going to get a nice sort of gray font because this house has a chimney, There we go. So here we've got a house, a tree, and some grass. I would very much encourage you to add some more details. I want you to be as creative as possible and have fun.